What is something you did once and never again? Carolina Reaper infused gummy bear. I almost called for an ambulance. Legitimately thought I was going to die covered in sweat, shit and vomit. Take us through the timeline here. Was the mass exodus of bodily fluids instantaneous or delayed over time? When I was 10-ish years old I knew about sexual things, and when you find smutty magazines and porno mags you grow up believing that you're gonna have sex all the time with every random person. After shaving what small pubes I had, I rubbed toothpaste all over thinking yeah the girls will like this. Did I think it'd taste better? Smell better? I have no idea. All I know is it stung. I had a cool mint dick for hours. Lamau children are a treasure. They are so dumb. The first time I came I was scared I'd get pregnant. I was 12. I was certain I was pregnant after kissing a boy for the first time, and that everyone would know. I was around 6 to 8. I prayed God he would make it so kisses don't cause pregnancy, so you're welcome everyone. Hiking through jungles. They look so beautiful in movies. In reality they are some of the most brutal hikes I've been on. Let's start with the humidity. It's so bad it trenches you to the bone, and there's no escaping it. Being under a jungle canopy is like being in a pressure cooker. The heat and humidity beats you down harder than any environment I've been in. Then there's the swarms of biting bugs. From never-ending mosquitoes, giant spiders on everything, ticks jumping on you from everywhere and colonies of aggressive fire ants crisscrossing the trails, you can expect to have more bug bites than you've thought possible to survive. Yeah, fuck everything about that. I'll take my temperate forests, thanks. Put pizza wrapped in foil in the microwave when I was 10 thinking it will warm up quicker. It surely did by lighting on fire 3 seconds after I turned it on. Did you not stop the microwave after it immediately started sparking? 3 seconds sounds longer than normal. I turned around to grab my phone and when I turned back around, it was smoking and on fire. Okay, fair enough. Jumped out of a perfectly functional airplane 45 years ago. DB Cooper? Is that you? Not paying attention to currents when swimming in the sea, and going anyway when there's a red flag and no guard. Dumbest shit ever. I was with my 2 brothers and my father, happily splashing around. Suddenly we turn around and the shore just got very far away. So we start swimming back but the sea is stronger than you. If you stop 5 seconds to catch your breath you lose the progress you did during the last minute, and that's precious. I was young so I don't remember it as a legit life-threatening situation, but my brothers and dad still got chills when talking about it. For anyone that doesn't know, always make sure you swim parallel to the shore, not towards it. Some URL. Unfortunate that people get so scared they swim against it, get tired, and eventually drown. If they swim parallel, they would swim out of the current and be able to swim back into shore. Skeptical. Did heroin for the first time and wasn't into the sensation at all. The same roommate that talked me into heroin talked me into smoking some crack to even out. Luckily I wasn't a fan of either and never did either ever again. Not the best roommate either. Hope you've got a different one now. Yeah, that was student housing. He was a culinary student that was a heroin addict. Pretty miserable year honestly. Our kitchen was so gnarly. He would make these crazy meals and not do any dish. Culinary student explains it, I used to work in a kitchen and I was the on one out for not being high 24/7. Went to Times Square for New Year's Eve in New York City. I live in NYC and I figured it was the kind of thing I wanted to see but didn't need to see again. Went in 2000 when I was 18. Got there 11 AM and stayed for 13 hours in the freezing cold but with close spots to the ball drop and scream. I'm glad I did it. I'm also glad I've never done it again. I used to live right next to where the ball would drop so I would go out on the fire escape and watch it from there every year. Got some booing from the crowd but it was nice to see the event, wouldn't go out of my way to see it again though. They booed you for being able to watch it from the fire escape? People are stupid man WTH. Removing paint from a table. I still need to finish sanding the thing, but that was a nightmare. Who paints a table with like 30 coats? Edit, used citrus strip safer paint remover, then scraped the flat surfaces with a scraper, then used steel wool on the other parts, rinsing the chunks of paint off in between as it gunked up the steel wool real quick. Then repeated the process a few weeks later, then used a belt sander on the flat surfaces, now just need to hand sand the other surfaces. It's like you want to quit but you are too invested at that point. 29 different owners. All of whom were smart enough to just paint over the last one rather than spend a week sanding off the 28 coats before them. But how else do you get a reclaimed wooden table? Assume the green stuff on the sushi tray was avocado. I'm sure several first-time sushi eaters thought the same. I know I did. This is hilarious and also, I'm sorry. Since people that know me know I don't eat seafood, I like to pretend that I don't know what wasabi is. And then just eat it. I have eaten a lot of horseradish dishes, and while it does clear the sinuses, it doesn't have the huge burning effect on me that it does on most people. The reactions are usually funny. Spray deodorant on my arse to cover up the smell of my farting. I was 6, once that spray hit my bullet hole, the burning began. The 6 years / logic behind your decision is honestly the funniest part. Edit, this is by far the most likes I've gotten on any post, comment, or reply. Never imagined it'd be for someone spraying deodorant up their ass, but then again I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Anyway, thanks guys. This year I tried to use spray deodorant on my head to keep my scalp from sweating. I'm 26. It didn't work, and it just made my hair grungy and water resistant. I showered multiple times a day and it still took a week to get back to normal. Stayed at a bed and breakfast. I'm not social enough to socialize with people during breakfast. Same. Came downstairs at 9:15 because they said breakfast was served until 9:30. The owner said, "There you are," and showed me to a table with a little card that said Mrs. Wine Cube, in fancy script, and then proceeded to scold me that all the other guests were already done eating. Never again. I've never stayed at a B&B, and after reading this I don't think I want to. Got drunk once with friends under the Ambassador Bridge drinking 120 proof rum from duty-free shop. Puked my guts out. Can't stand the smell of rum since, and it's been 53 years. Vanilla vodka in a field for me. I feel like a lot of people have a similar story about drinking excessively with friends in a creative location that resulted in alcohol poisoning and the inability to consume that type of booze anymore. Edit, it is truly heartwarming to read all these responses and see that this is such a universal experience. Be sure to thank your liver today for all its hard work. Vanilla vodka for me too. I can feel my stomach turn just typing it out. Tried to intervene during a street fight. Got shot for my troubles. Bless us with more story, friend. Were you out getting a coffee? Walking your gator? Where were you shot? Glad you're here to write any of this stuff in the first place. Was at the bar with my ex-wife. 2 regulars, one of which I considered a friend, started arguing. My friend went outside to go home and end the problem. Asshat decides he's gonna continue the fight in the parking lot. There was a group of us that followed, and when he went to pull a gun, my drunk ass thought it would be a good idea to step in and try to stop it all. Fucker shot at me 3 times. One of them hit my leg. To be fair, it sounds like you might have saved your friend's life. I jumped off a roof barefoot when I was a kid. I'll never do that again. It was an older house and the roof was low to the ground, so it seemed okay, but my judgment led me astray. I landed on a stone entryway and immediately collapsed to the ground. I had to crawl my way back inside and it was extremely painful. The reason I did this is because the bathroom door jammed shut and I had no way out. Old house. Didn't break anything, but my feet were bruised. I'm surprised I didn't break anything from the hard impact. I'm not sure that being barefoot was the problem. My mom's coworker's son did this once. His both hands were fractured for months and he was traumatized. He was a bright, cheery boy, but after the fall, he's been really quiet and closed. I mean, Losing the mobility of both your hands can be pretty painful, not just physically but mentally too. Bath salts. Tried some from a guy who went by Asian Billy. I did about enough to cover the head of a framing nail and was pretty much having a panic attack for the next 8 hours. I went to a casino with the other people I was working with and Asian Billy and sat at a blackjack table and just said, "I have no idea what I'm doing. Sorry everyone if I mess up your bets." Everyone was cool and I ended up winning $175. Now I got to ask the most important question, was Asian Billy Asian? I'm picturing Jason from The Good Place. I was thinking Donkey Doug.